I'm Takun, these are cats, and they have been tearing through Radical Red's hardcore mode. Let's get into it. Today we have a pretty straightforward video, it's just going to be some boss fights, and first up is Chuck. Chuck here is going to lead off with Iron Crown, and I'm going to send out a Simba. Now, the annoying thing about Chuck is this fighting spirit thing, where if his Pokemon are at 75% or higher health, he just gets Focus Sash, but better. Luckily for me, a couple flamethrowers, and that berry Simba is going to take down Iron Crown, and now I'm looking at a Zamazenta. That is a big dog, and this cat does not want to fight that. And Zamazenta, I already know, is a fast boy, so I have Meowser, and he's a prankster. Meowstick is going to go ahead, get that paralysis, get that freaking reflect up, and help me deal with this thing a bit better. So now I bring Simba back in. Luckily, Zamazenta is fully paralyzed, and I get off a flamethrower, does a good amount of damage before I lose Simba to another body press. I bring in Grass Cat because I know this thing is definitely faster after paralysis, and I go for that Play Rough, and I thought that was going to be enough, but it wasn't. Luckily for me, the Resist, the Reflect, it's all going to help out here, and I'm able to take out the big threat there. And he goes into Annihilate now. Lucky for me, Play Rough is going to be doing a lot of damage. He is going to be hitting me with the Rage Fist, but it's also kind of glitched here in Radical Red, so it's actually not going to kill. And that works in my favor because Grass Cat can live. Grass Cat is faster than like everything he's sending out right now. But I do go down to the close combat because I was just basically at no health after the Zamazenta fight. I bring in Psycat here, and just one hit from this thing just looks in his direction. Sneasler is going to be going down to any psychic move. And now I'm looking at a Mega Gallade. And my Psycat is faster, gets off a decent amount of damage with the Psychic. But of course, Gallade hits like a truck there. Meowster comes back in. I'm like, you know what? We're going to do that Prankster Thunder Wave, get that paralysis, get the reflect back up, and I actually live through a Night Slash and get my Citrus Berry. So I'm thinking I want to save that for later. I'm going to bring in the Feline Prowess Meowstick here, the Bougie Cat, get off the Psychic, and this thing lives like 1 HP, but the full paralysis comes in. I'm getting so lucky in this fight. If it was not for these paralysis turns, I would be kind of screwed. So now we go into Komao, and there it is. It just lives with the free Focus Sash he has. And then he hits me with the Z-powered Clangorous Soul Blaze, does a ton of damage, and then gives this guy a freaking Omni Boost. So it's looking pretty scary out here. Luckily for me, I did keep that Meowser alive. I do still have Prankster Thunder Wave, which is going to allow my last Pokemon here, the Bigglesworth, the Persian, to come in, outspeed, and just get this last tiny little sliver of damage. And I do take out Chuck. That was a pretty difficult fight, but it was worth it because now I not only get that TM, but I get the Expert Belt, and then I have the ability to come back, talk to Chuck, and get the Focus Sash. Next up, we have this optional boss fight here, but we kind of need this to happen. We just tell this dumbass kid, we don't like mudkips around here, and he is ready to throw hands. He starts off with Bear Tick, and for some place, this is taking place in the rain, indoors in this house for some reason. I'm starting off with Barkeep here. I go for the Fake Out, and then I go for the U-turn because I know that switch is coming. And I'm looking at the King Mudkip himself, Swampert. And I go ahead, I U-turn into Grass Cat. This thing is going to Mega Evolve. And Swift Swim in the rain, of course, it's going to be fast. It hits like a truck. That Ice Punch does so much damage. But my Flower Trick is way too much for that thing to handle. It's like, hey, whoa, what are you doing there? That's a blade of grass, and it just dies. So now I'm looking back at the Bear Tick, which is a Swift Swimmer. I go back into Barkeep. He's able to take the close combat after eating that berry, and we are good. So I can do that Fake Out, get that flinch, and go for that Bullet Punch. And now this Bear Tick is dead. So I think that's all the Swift Swimmers here, and that is definitely awesome. But he still has a rain-based team. He goes into Zapdos. I Bullet Punch because I know I'm slow as hell, and I get paralyzed for my efforts. Not that it matters because Weather Ball is just going to take me out. So here I decide to go into the Bougie Cat, Feline Prowess. I'm like, hey, I'm a kitty. I hit like a truck, and I'm like, actually, you know what? Let me switch back into Grass Cat. And now I'm looking at this Goodra here. Luckily for me, the Protean is really good. Grass Cat is able to get off massive amounts of damage with Play Rough, and then I just die because that Swampert was doing massive amounts of damage, hitting my weak point. So this time I go into the Meowser Meowstick, which is my prankster one. Do Psychic, get off a little bit of damage, and I'm deciding, you know what, I need to set up a light screen here, help me deal with this Zapdos, and I take that attack pretty well. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to switch into my offensive Meowstic now. And I take the Hurricane. Luckily for me, I don't get confused. But he's eating a Psychic, I eat a Hurricane, and it's looking like I'm winning this battle with the light screen. But I decide, you know what, I want this Bucci to stick around. I'm going into Simba here. He goes into Caesar, and Flamethrower is going to do a good amount of damage, not quite enough to kill because of the rain. But I luckily get the burn, and I'm able to take attacks from this thing all day. Another Flamethrower, boom, that thing goes down. Now he decides to go into Frostmoth here. I'm like, oh, this is easy kill. And no, does a good amount of damage, but not an easy kill, apparently. But Simba does a good amount of damage, enough for me to send in the Unlucky Cat. Just go for the Night Slash, get the KO there. I could have Sucker Punched, but you know, it's all whatever. Same thing, same KO. I decided to go for Sucker Punch against the Zapdos, and this thing static gets me. This is Unlucky Cat's very unlucky right now, and catching all the status conditions over here on my end. He sends out that Gudra, and I'm slower. I'm paralyzed. This dude just gets a free rest because of the hydration, and it's not looking like a good time out here. I go for the Night Slash, and I probably should have gone Sucker Punch here. That might have taken it out, but I don't. Unlucky Cat goes down, and that's kind of on me for being dumb. But you know what? I still have 2 Meowstics here. So I go back into Bucci Cat. I'm like, you know what? Psychic, just get rid of this thing. And it doesn't, because the special defense on Gudra is just buck wild. But luckily, it KOs itself with its own move. I'm able to defeat the dumbass kid and get the Earthquake TM. I'm now ready for the gym battle, and you already know what it is. I beat everyone. I get lost going around the teleport platforms because I can't navigate my way through a wet paper bag, but I eventually do find Sabrina. Sabrina here is going to make this a doubles battle, and not only that, her psychic powers are going to give the battlefield a permanent trick room. So doubles battle, permanent trick room. Spoiler alert, this chick doesn't even use psychic types. Very off-brand, very not cash money of her. She starts off with the Mega Camerupt and Tapu Fini, and I'm like, you know what? Screw the Tapu Fini. This fish is cat food. I'm going for the Fake Out. I'm going for the Zing Zap, and that Tapu Fini goes down. Now, although Camerupt is kind of like the bigger threat here, these other mons can do spread moves, and I don't want that. So, Helping Hand, Sucker Punch. I'm going in on this Jelly Scent right now, and boom, I'm already up 2-0, looking nice. The Camerupt does take out the Luxray, which is a little unfortunate, but you know what? He put in work. He did his job. So now Aristocat is making her debut here, and this time I'm going for the Light Screen. Help me take attacks a bit better. And Aristocat here has the Hidden Power Water specifically for this Mega Camerupt. So that is going to be doing a good amount of damage, but unfortunately the freaking Magearna is going to be doing massive damage to me. Luckily, the Camerupt does go down, but Magearna sees that and is like, hey, you know, that only makes me stronger. The bloodlust in this Magearna, you can see it in his eyes. It's just way too much. It gives her life, unfortunately. Now I'm looking at the Glastrier, and my Aristocat goes down. Focus Blast, Soul Heart, it gets another boost because dead things make her happy. Yeah, I send out Simba at this point because Simba looking like he can handle everything pretty well. The Helping Hand and the Flamethrower, I'm going out after this Magearna because it looks like it probably set up a little too much. Meowser does go down, and that's kind of the end of my support Pokemon there, but that Flamethrower does take out Magearna. And now I'm just looking at this Glastrier that's sitting behind 2 Swords Dances because I've been ignoring it. And I'm like, this is not good. Let me Fake Out and Flamethrower that. We're going to team up on this guy, take him out before he can do anything to me. Barkeep is going to get Drain Punched by the big ol' Iron Hands there. Super effective. But, you know, that's the last Pokemon I have to deal with now. And I'm thinking, you know what? I can do this. Now we're just ganging up on Iron Hands over here. And he's still putting in work. Flamethrower does a decent chunk there. I'm down to my last 2 Pokemon. Not looking good, actually, because I brought Unlucky Cat to the fight. So he's just going to be able to Drain Punch that, get a lot of health back. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just click Hyper Beam on Simba. This is the delete button with the adaptability. And lucky for me, that is what it is. Iron Hands goes down. Sabrina, screw you in your Trick Room and your off-brand, not even using Psychic Pokemon fight. Just forget all that, bro. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you stuck around this far, you are a real one, and I'll see you in the next video.